Hey everybody, welcome to a game of APBA baseball. I have not played APBA in quite some time, so I thought I would pull it out just to give it another go. It's just a one-off game. There's nothing special, no project going on. I'm up to my ear in Chicago White Sox 1977 project, so this is just something to do as a diversion to that, and just to put a game of APBA baseball on the channel, which I haven't done in a while. And I am using the Paul Marino board, so we'll have those handy, which is kind of like the hybrid to playing the master game without needing a degree from MIT to do it. So this is going to be a kind of like an exhibition. I don't know if there's interest, I might play the whole series, but I doubt there's going to be interest. This is probably just a one-off. This is game one of the 1986 American League Championship Series between the California Angels and the Boston Red Sox. Roger Clemens against Mike Witt. And Clemens, as you can see, is an X, Y, and Z pitcher. And he has a number 18 on his card right here. So that's going to help him shut down some base hits. If we get to 8s and 9s, that can be effective there. Mike Witt is a 14, and he is an X and a Z. Starting lineups are the as-played lineups for the ALCS. You can see them there. All right, we'll go ahead and get rolling, pardon the pun, and get this thing underway. I also have, neither one of these teams are very proficient at stealing bases, but just in case, I've got the stealing chance table right here if it is needed. Like I said, both these teams are more or less, doubles and home run teams, not teams that run the bases all that much. All right, so we are ready to go. Rupert Jones, the right fielder, will lead things off. And one last detail, California is fielding column 1. Boston is fielding column 2 based on the cumulative fielding totals. But there are some situations where on the Reno board you go to a specific fielder and check his rating. So even though the team may be a fielding 2, the player may be a fielding 1. All right, so here we go. This is Rupert Jones. Oh, right off the bat, a 66, and he hits a home run. How do you like that? Boy, that's not a good way to start, is it? And Roger Clemens had absolutely nothing to do with it. All right, so Rupert Jones gets the Fenway faithful upset right away with the base hit, with a home run. Here's Wally Joyner. 15 is a 10, and a 10 is going to be a single unless Clemens can stop it. Now, Joyner is a +3 against righties, which means we're going to lower Clemens from an 18 to a 15. So we'll look at the 10 on the Reno boards and see if there's a 15. There's 15, 10, 10 and 15. That becomes a 34. So Clemens was able to stop that. So 34, instead of a single, is going to be a pop out to short. But since he has the Y, it's actually going to be a strikeout. So 10 would have been a single, but Clemens turned that into not only an out, but a strikeout. So that's where the Reno boards can come into play right there. All right, here's Brian Downing, left fielder, 22, more doubles. That's an 8. Downing's a -1, which makes Clemens up to a 19 now. So we look at an 8 and a 19 on the Reno boards, and an 8 and a 19 turns into a 29. 29 is a ground out pitcher to first, but if it's an X, it's a strikeout. Clemens has the X, so again, Clemens not only took the base hit away, he turned it into a strikeout. So Clemens a little perturbed about getting up the leadoff homer, and it's come back to strike out both Joyner and Downing. And now Reggie Jackson steps to the plate. 63, it's a 13. That's a strikeout whether you're playing basic or master or something in between. 13 is universally a strikeout in APBA. So the 1 run for the Angels, that's based on the home run hit by leadoff man Rupert Jones. And at the end of half an inning of play, it is 1-0 favor of the Angels. But now the Red Sox are coming to bat. Wade Boggs will lead off against Mike Witt. 25 for Boggs is an 8. Witt is a 14. Boggs has no change against the righties, so it's a 14 altogether. We look at 8 and a 14. There is a 14. It turns it to a 30. 30 is a fly out to left. K, if he has a strikeout, if he has a K, he does not. So it's simply a fly to left for Boggs, so he loses the hit based on that result. And that'll now bring up Marty Barrett, Marty Grinnin' Barrett. 11, that's a 0, so we're going to go to a second chance. That's a 46. 46 is a 6 on the second column, and a 6 is a double. Mike Witt does not have an M or an L on his card to change it to a home run, so the double is going to stand. You don't even use this secondary thing here because we're talking about second column. So if we did, though, it would be an 18, which means an M, and that would, I believe, would make that a home run. So either way, it's a double for Marty Barrett because when you get that second column, you're guaranteed a hit. So Marty Barrett with a double. And I forget off the top of my head if the M's or L's are both home runs or if they mean something else. But anyway, now we get to move on to runners on second base in the Marino board. So we get to a different board now. And that's Bill Buckner, Billy Buck, 34. 34 is a 31. 31 is a fly to center, runner holds. So 2 down. No adjustment on the Marino boards there. It's simply a fly to center. That brings up Jim Rice. 22, another double. That's a 7. Kind of hard to stop a 7, I do believe. Rice, though, is a -3. That makes Witt a 17. So a 17 and a 7. Can a 17 stop a 7? No, you have to have a 29 or a 30 to stop a 7. So it is single runner scores. So Rice an RBI single, and we are tied at a run apiece. It is Jim Rice. Brings home the run, and we'll move the charts back to runner on first. And that'll bring up the DH, Don Baylor. 16. 16 is a 28. 28 is a ground out short. 6-3, runner to second. But, of course, that's the final out, so it doesn't really matter. It is a 6-3 ground out. Let's see here. 16, 26, 28 rather. So, yeah, 6-3 ground out. It doesn't matter if it goes to short way or to first. It's the third out of the inning, so it's irrelevant. I don't even know why I was looking at that. After one inning, it is 1-1. So we'll see what happens. See if Clemens can keep it going after giving up that leadoff home run to start the game. Go back to the bases empty chart, and we're looking at Doug DeCinces. 54 for DeCinces. It's a 32, and that is a fly to right. You have to have a K to get the strikeout. Clemens does not have that. He has X and Y, but no K. So 1 away for Rob Wilfong, second baseman to the Grinch. Interesting choice that they used there for Gene Mauch. 26 to 27. That is a 5-3 ground out, but he has an X. It's a strikeout, so Clemens will add to his strikeout total thanks to that X quality. And they're now 2 away for former Red Sox Rick Burleson. 42. 42 is a 14, and that's going to be a walk. You have to have 2 Z's to stop it. Clemens only has 1, so it is a 2-out walk to Burleson. Brings up Bob Boone. Switch to the runner on first page. 36. 36 is a 33. That is a pop-up to third. If he has a K, it's a strikeout, but no K, it's simply a pop-up to third. And the inning is over. So we go to the bottom of the second. Still tied 1 apiece. And we'll flip the boards back to the bases empty. Starting point. And Dewey Evans steps to the plate. Dewey Evans. 22 for Dewey Evans. That's a 0, so we know he's going to get a hit. Just a matter what kind. 66, that's a home run for Dwight Evans. So Dwight Evans goes deep. Another solo home run. Another solo home run. And the only way to stop that is if the pitcher had a 24 or higher, he could change it to a single. But you got to be like Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson, 1968 kind of thing to do that. So No chance for that. Red Sox lead 2-1. Here's Gedman. 26 is a 30. That's a fly to left. Out number 1. So Gedman is retired. That brings up Tony Armas, starting this game instead of Dave Henderson in game 1. That's the way McNamara played it. 13, 1-3, 13 is a 14, and that's going to be a base on balls. Got to have that double Z, and he only has a single Z. So a walk to Armas brings up Spike Owen, and we'll move to the runner on first chart for Spike Owen. 36 is a 33. That is a pop-up to third. Out number 2. And it flips the lineup over to Wade Boggs. Slide to left his first trip. 25. 25 is an 8. So let's see. Boggs has no change against righties, so that's a 14. So run on first, and 8. Is the 14 going to stop it? Yes, it is. 14 becomes a 32, which is a fly out to right to end the inning. So Witt was able to fend that one off, but he could not fend off the home run by Dewey Evans, and after 2 complete, it's the Red Sox 2 and the Angels 1. And we're ready to start inning number 3 with Clemens. And his fatigue is 30 batters faced. Witt is 32, so they both can go the distance if need be. May not even use the bullpen if they're effective. Here's Gary Pettis, number 9 hitter for the Angels, 52. That's 27. 27 is a ground ball to third, but an X means a strikeout, so X marks the spot for Clemens' strikeout because he does have that X. Now here's Rupert Jones. Clemens looking to get redemption here after giving up the home run to start the game. 55, though. It's a 9, so not sure if he can stop a 9. Jones is a -1, so that will make Clemens a 19. A 19, can that stop a 9? Yes, it can. 19 and a 9 turns to a 29, which is a ground ball to the pitcher, but there's an X there, so that's a strikeout. So not only did he stop the hit, he got the strikeout and got some revenge on Mr. Jones. So here's Joyner. 24 is a 13, struck him out. So Clemens strikes out the side in the top of the third. Nothing doing for the Halos. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 2-1 Sox. Marty Grinning Barrett steps to the plate. His first trip, he doubled and scored on the right single. 22 is another 7, another set of doubles. 7, and you're not going to stop a 7. We've already established that. So that is a leadoff single for Marty Barrett. Marty Barrett is aboard. That will bring up Billy Buck. Billy Buck. And if the Red Sox have the lead late in the game, I will bring in Dave Stapleton, unlike an unnamed manager. Here's Buckner, 43. 43 is a 29. 29, it says here, ground out. We're checking the ground out to the pitcher. If he has a Y, it's a strikeout. Witt has an X but not a Y, so there's no strikeout there. So it says ground out, runner to second. So it's a 1-3 ground out with the runner advancing. I'm sorry, I was looking at field in column 3. Need to look at field in column number 1. See, it's same thing. It shows the same thing. So runner does advance. All right, so Barrett's at second now. We move over to the runner on second chart for Jim Rice. As Witt trying to get out of this. 34 is a 31. 31's a fly to center. Runner holds, so it's 2 down. And it's up to the DH, Don Baylor. Don Baylor. 35 for Baylor is a 42. And that is hit by the pitch. Unless he has a hit by pitch 0, which I don't see there. So Witt plunks Baylor, and Baylor was infamous for being hit by pitches in his career. That puts runners at first and second, so we'll flip to that chart for the bat of Dewey Evans, who homered his first trip. So Witt's got to bear down here and avoid the long ball. 61, he will do that. It's a 30. 30 is a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. In the master game, there's a whole bunch of symbols there, and I'm not going to go through all that. That's just too much work. We're just going to call it a fly to left and be done with it. I think it's accurate enough. So nothing doing for the Sox. For those that do play the Master Game, more power to you. It's just too complicated for me. I like detail, but I don't want to do, I don't want to be into, calculus or something. So anyway, here's Brian Downing to lead off the fourth. 14, that's a 30. 30 is a fly to left. Clemens doesn't have the K, so there's no strikeout. It's simply a fly to left. And that will bring up Reginald Martinez Jackson. Mr. October. 14 is a 30. That's the same result. Another fly to left. So back-to-back fly balls to Rice. 2 up, 2 down. And that will bring up Doug DeSensei. 54, 32. 32 is a fly to right. No K because he doesn't have the K, but he gets the out. Doesn't matter. And Clemens is on a roll since giving up that home run to start the game. Guess they made him mad. All right, so we go to the bottom of the fourth. Still 2-1 Sox, and Rich Gedman will lead things off. Gedman fly to left his first trip. 22. 22 is a 7, and that's a base hit. Not going to stop a 7. So base hit for Gedman. And that will turn us over to Tony Armas, center fielder. 22 again. That's another 7. So they're not going to stop that either. With running on first, though, you might have a better chance of stopping a 7. So let me not speak too fast. With bases empty, you can't stop it. But with runners on, it becomes easier to stop. So we'll do some calculations here. I think I was probably premature on that. -2 makes Witt a 16. If you look at 16, nope, not enough. You have to have an 18 or higher to stop that. So I was right initially. It's a single, runner to third. So runners are now on the corners with nobody out and Spike Owen the batter. So we need to go to the runners on the corners chart. Infield is going to play. They're going to play in. I don't think he scored a whole lot of runs off of Clemens. So they're going to play. Well, you know what? With nobody out, they're going to play double play depth. Going to try to stop the big inning. 44. 44 is an 8. So runners on first and third with an 8. Owen's a -3, makes him a 17. 17, can that stop the 8? It cannot. An 18 would have stopped the 8, but not the 17. So it's an 8. Single, one scores, other to third. Slow is out at third. Armas is slow, so he is going to be out at third. So on the single, say where it went. Doesn't say which direction it went. Just says single. So I don't know who the outfielder was. We'll just say, we'll assume center field, like we do in in a different game, and we'll call it 8-5. But Owen got the single, the RBI single, as Gedman scores. It's 3-1 Sox. Now there's 1 out and a runner at first. So Armas a little careless on the base pass. He gets erased. Owens is at first, 1 out for Wade Boggs. 14 is a 30. 30 is a fly to left. So that's 2 down. And Boggs, uncharacteristically, 0 for 3. Brings up Marty Grinnin Barrett. $15, and that's a 10. But let's see what we've got here to hold him. -4 makes that an 18. Cross-reference 18 to a 10. Nope, not going to stop it. Single, runner to third. So it's a good single, and Owen will go to third base. So runners again at the corners for Billy Buckner. Billy Buckner. Runners at the corners. 25. 25 is an 8. So that could be interesting. 25 is an 8. Buckner's a +2, which makes him only a 12. And I don't believe a 12 is going to... No, actually, I stand corrected. 12 does stop an 8. Turns it to a 34. 34 is a fly to left. Now, how many outs is that? That was the third out, so don't have to worry about trying to be a sacrifice fly or anything. It's going to do it. 1 run is all the Red Sox get. Could have been worse, but some shoddy base running by Armas took care of that. But at the end of 4 complete, it is 3-1 Red Sox. So that may be enough for Clemens the way he's going. He may be able to make that stand. Here's Rob Wilfong to start the 5th. 36 is a 33. And that's a pop out to second. But if you have a Y, it's a strikeout. So Clemens, yet another strikeout. So those X's and Y's coming into play for Clemens. Here's Burleson. 44. 44 is a 7. And that's going to be a base hit. Even Clemens can't stop that. So a 1-out single for Rick Burleson. Brings up catcher Bob Boone. Bob Boone. 23. 23 is a 12. 12 says fielding column number 2. It's a double play. 1-6-3. Unless the pitcher has a W, which he does not. So it's a 1-6-3 double play. How about that? That's going to end the inning. 1-6-3. So we've completed 4.5. Red Sox still lead it 3-1. And I've just got that funny feeling that the Angels are not going to be able to come back from this, but that's why we roll the games. There's Jim Rice. 35. 35 is a 9. Rice is a -3. Makes him a 17. A 17 to stop a 9. Oh, cannot do it. An 18 would have. 17 does not. It is a single. So Rice. So I'll show you what I'm talking about on the Reno boards. 17 right here. 17 and 9. It's a blank. Had it been an 18, it would have turned that to a 28. And that would have been a ground out. But could not do it. Missed it by 1 number. And Rice gets himself his 2nd hit of the night. Brings up, whoops, went too far. Brings up Don Baylor. Hit by pitch last time. 33. That's a 5. And a 5 is a home run. 15, there's no 15 there. That's a home run. 5 is a home run for, and I'll show that too. Home run on Marino board, first baseman. A 5 is a home run. So Don Baylor goes deep. A 2-run homer. And the Red Sox are starting to blow this thing open. It's now 5-1. Only a 4-run deficit, but the way Clemens pitching, it's like a 10-run deficit. And Mike Witt might be short-lived in this one if he keeps it up. Here's Dewey Evans. 32 for Evans is a 26. And that's a 4-3 ground out handled by Wilfong. 1 away. That'll bring up the catcher, Rich Gedman. 13 is a 22. 22 is, we're checking the catcher, and it says here, first on an error if the catcher is fielding 3 or fielding 2. Well, the catcher in this case, Bob Boone is a 9, which puts him as a fielding column 1. So therefore, it is just an out 2-3. He's not going to make the error. So since he's fielding column 1 by himself as a 9 rated catcher, he makes the play. A 4 rated catcher would have made an error. Regardless of the team being fielding 1, that wouldn't have mattered. Here's Armas, 35, 40. 40 is a foul ball, unless the pitcher has a W, which he does not. It would have been a walk. Instead, it's a 1-strike count on Armas. And look at this, 55 is an 8. Armas is a -2, makes him a 16. 16 will stop the 8, though. 16 turns the 8 into a 31, which is a fly to center. And the inning's over. But 2 more runs come in, and after 5 complete, it is the Red Sox 5 and the Angels 1. And you wonder how long Mike Witt's going to be able to go. Clemens looks like he's good all night long. Here's Gary Pettis, number 9 hitter. 41 is a 28. 28 is a grounder to short. So 1 away, handled by Spike Owen. 1 down, and that will bring up Rupert Jones, the only one who's done anything against Clemens all day, or all night, I should say, is Rupert Jones. 65, he just missed another home run. It's a 35, and that's a foul out to Gedman, the catcher, for out number 2. I think APBA veterans know that 35 is a foul out to the catcher before I even look. 66 for Joyner. It's gone. Home run. So both runs Clemens has given up have been 66 rolls, which he had zero chance to stop. And, yeah, there's just no way. So Joyner was a +3, so it would have made him a 15. You have to be a 24 to stop it. So home run for Joyner. Here's Brian Downing, 11. Back-to-back doubles, that's a 4. And that's going to be a double unless he's able to stop it. 19, nope, he's not going to be able to change it to a single. It will stay a double. So all of a sudden, back-to-back dice rolls are doubles. And Clemens getting a little perturbed about that. Here's Reggie Jackson. He might have to take some more PEDs before the game's over. Here's Jackson. 21. 21 is a 13, and that's a strikeout, no matter how you play APBA. That's a strikeout, and that's the end of the inning. So just the one run comes across, so the Red Sox still pretty comfortably in front 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Witt's going to stay in there a little bit longer, facing Spike Owen. Number 9 hitter, 26. 27. 27 is a 5-3 ground out. Unless he has an X, he does, it's a strikeout. So Mike Witt, even though he has the X, that is his first strikeout of the game. Took him 6 innings to get it. Even with that X, the Red Sox have not been rolling those results. Here's Boggs. 43 is a 29. And that's a ground ball to the pitcher. But if he has an X, it's a strikeout. So all of a sudden, Mike Witt now finding those strikeout rolls. So Boggs out on strikes. Here's Barrett. 14 is a 30, and that's a fly to left to end the inning. So the Red Sox go meekly in the 6th. Played 6 complete, and the score is Boston 5 and California 2. Roger Clemens starts the top of the 7th against Doug DeCinces. 51. 51 is a 14. That's a walk. Leadoff walk to DeCinces. That will bring us to Rob Wilfong. And we'll move to runner on first chart. 45. 45 is a 14. Now, on a 14 with the runner on first, if you have a Z, it's 2 balls. And Clemens does have a Z. So that's just a 2-ball count. That's the difference between being on first and bases empty. So we'll try it again. 36. 33. 33 is a pop out to third. So at least Clemens was able to fend that walk off with the runner on first. Here's Burleson. Actually, should not be Burleson, should it? Why do I have Schofield? This is really weird. I put Burleson in the game, and it should have been Schofield. So I kind of screwed that up there, didn't I? just now caught that. So I don't know if that what Burleson did earlier on that would have affected the game, but should have been Schofield. That was my bad from the get-go. But I'm not going to restart the game now. We're just going to live with it. All right, so 54 for Schofield. So I just rolled that as a 32. And that's a pop out to third. That was weird. I don't think I've ever done that before. I've actually put the wrong player in the game. Don't know why I thought that, but maybe that's why I should have ran through the lineups first. I was trying to save time. That's what happens. 13 is a 36. Wild pitch. Runner to second. Wild pitch 3 only. Otherwise, it's a ball. Clemens has a wild pitch 3, so it is a wild pitch because he does have that wild pitch 3. So it is a wild pitch, and we'll move over to the column 2 chart, or runner on first base, runner on second base chart. I don't want to say column 2. Runner on second base chart. 65 is a 35, and that's a foul out to the third baseman with the runner on second base. And that's going to end the top of the 7th. I apologize for having Burleson in there instead of Schofield. That was just dumb on my part, just not paying attention. So it happens. Happens to all of us once in a while. Seemingly me more than anybody else, though. But we'll play through it. Here's Buckner. 45 is a 14. That is a leadoff walk. So Buckner is aboard. That'll bring up Rice, followed by Baylor and Evans. Whoa, 66, that's gone. Home run, Jim Rice. That's going to be all for Mike Witt. Witt is now gone from the game. A 2-run homer by Rice makes it 7-2. And that's going to be all for Mr. Witt. He is seen better nights than he did tonight, but he is out of there. And let's see who they're going to go to in the bullpen. They're going to go to right-hander Doug Corbett. So Doug Corbett is the new pitcher. Back to base is empty. So Corbett, his rating is a Z and a 10. So Witt was a 14, Corbett is a 10. Here's Baylor. 63 is a 30, and that's a fly to left. Out number 1. One away for Dewey Evans. 35 is a 40, and that's a foul ball unless he has a W, which he does not. 14, that's a 30, and again, that's a fly to left. 2 down for Rich Gedman. 44 for Gedman, and that's an 8. Gedman a +2 against right-handers makes him an 8. So an 8 is not going to stop an 8. So that's a base hit. Single by Gedman. Brings up Tony Armas. 63 is a 30, and that is a fly to left to end the inning. I'm now realizing that 30s are fly to lefts, it seems like. So I don't even have to check the book on some of these. I'm starting to learn the numbers. Okay, so that's going to do it for the Red Sox, but 2 more runs come across. It is now a 7-2 game, starting the 8th inning with Clemens, large and in charge, facing Gary Pettis. 13 is a 14. That's a leadoff walk to Pettis. And normally Pettis is one of those guys that would steal, but down 8-2, that's not going to happen. Not even going to attempt it. So I don't think you're allowed to attempt it according to the rules when the score is like that. Here's Rupert Jones. Oh, 55. That's a 9. A 9. Rupert's a -1 makes Clemens a 19. A 19 and a 9. That does not change the 9. It stays a base hit. So it is a single, runner to third. So maybe Clemens showing some chinks in the armor. First 2 are on. Runners on the corners. Nobody out for Wally Joyner, who homered his last trip. 34 is a 31. So we get the runners on the corners page. And a 31. 31 says fly to center. Now, there's probably something on here about sacrifice flies, but these numbers on here I can't really tell. Depth plus speed minus outfielder arm equals chance number. I'm not into all that. Pettis can fly, so I'm going to assume he makes the sacrifice fly. It's just a judgment call on my part. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm calling it a with a guy that runs as fast as Pettis, I'm calling it a sac fly. So Joyner with the sac fly. Like I said, it may not be totally accurate, but just using my best judgment. And now we go back to runner on first. 33 is a 6. I guess I could have went to the basic board and see if it had been a thing, but I'm not going to worry about it at this point. A 6 for Downing. 6 is a potential double unless, let's see, Downing's a -1, 19. There is no 19 to change anything. It's a double. Runner to third, fast runner scores. Jones is not a fast runner, so he will go to third on the double by Joyner. So by Downing. So Downing has 2 doubles on the game. And now the Red Sox bullpen starting to loosen up here as Clemens has now hit 30 batters to batters faced, I should say. So I think we'll go ahead and take Clemens out. I think we're going to go ahead and get him out of there. Bring in a fresh arm. So with the lefty Jackson coming up, the Red Sox will turn to a lefty reliever out of the bullpen, Joe Sambito. So lefty Joe Sambito is on to face the lefty Reggie Jackson. So Joe Sambito, and he's a Y and a Z, and he's a 5. So definitely a downgrade from an 18 to a 5. No question about it. All right, so we'll go to second and third boards. Infield's back. They want to get the out. There's 1 out. They want to get some more outs. 33, though, not going to happen. That's a 7. That's a base hit. Single, and let's see here. Runner score and batter to second on the throw. So, how do you like that? A 2-run single, and both those runs are charged to Clemens. So he has a very mediocre game now when we start adding in these numbers. 3 more runs against him. That's a total of 5 runs he's allowed and accounted for. Responsible for 5 runs in 7 1/3 innings. So what was a great outing now is just kind of mediocre. And Jackson with a 2-run single off of Sambito. Those inherited runners came in. And all of a sudden now it is a 7-5 game and it's starting to get serious around here. All right, so runner at first. Sambito against the Sensei. 43, 29, 29. We're checking fielding column number 2. But he has a Y, though, so that's a strikeout. If you get a Y, it's a strikeout. Sambito has the Y, so that's a strikeout. We don't have to worry about runner advancement. It's a strikeout. Nobody's going anywhere. Here's Rob Wilfong. Sambito to Wilfong. 45 is a 14. 14, but you have the Z, so that's a 2-ball count. We'll reboot. 52 is a 27. Ground ball to third. That's going to end the inning. So Sambito gave up the 2-run single, but kept it clean after that. It's a 7-5 game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And like I said, things got interesting. And bullpen action for the Red Sox as Bob Stanley loosening in the bullpen along with Calvin Schiraldi. So we'll see who John McNamara chooses to put in there. And also, after that, let's see here. In the 9th inning, after Buckner hits, assuming he hits, we will bring in the aforementioned Dave Stapleton to play first base. Right now it is Corbett facing Owen. 54. 54 is a 32. That is a fly to right, 1 away. So 1 away. Let's move this over so you can see the score sheet better, hopefully. So a fly to right by Owen. I'll do it this way so you can still see the cards. All right, so Wade Boggs back to the top of the order. 51 is an 8. Corbett is a 10. No change on Boggs. I don't think a 10 stops an 8. And it does not, so it's a single for Boggs. 1 out single by Boggs. Go to our runner on first base chart. Boggs certainly not a threat to steal. He didn't steal any bases on the year at all. Here's Marty Barrett. 51. 51 is a 20. Is a 9. 51 is a 9, but -4 for Barrett against a righty makes him a 14. 14 will probably stop a 9. Actually, it does not stop a 9. It's blank there, so it's single runner to second. So now runners are at first and second. For Bill Buckner. 26. 26 for Buckner is a 24 with runners at first and second. 24 result is a double play, 6-4-3, and that's going to end the inning. And now, as we go to the top of the 9th, we're going to get Dave Stapleton on to play first base. So that move will be made immediately, and Stapleton will get his card out. Stapleton is a 4. Buckner was just a 3. So we upgrade by 1 with Stapleton's card. So Stapleton is the new first baseman. And we go to the top of the 9th with a new pitcher for the Red Sox, and it will be Calvin Schiraldi. He is their closer, so he's going to get the first crack at it. Schofield is the leadoff batter. We'll check the bench, see if they got anybody they want to pinch hit with. And it looks like they will go with a pinch hitter, Jack Howell. So Jack Howell, the lefty, will pinch hit for Schofield as the wheels are turning. So Jack Howell, the lefty, is going to pinch hit. And if we get to the bottom of the 9th, we'll figure out the defense later. Right now, Gene Marcus wants to get there. So Howell against Schiraldi. Schiraldi has the K, which is really helpful because sometimes they miss strikeouts because of it. And he's got a Z, and he's also an 18. So definitely good stuff there for Schiraldi. All right, here's Howell, 21. 21 is a 30, and that's a fly to left. However, K is a strikeout. So this time, K works as a strikeout. The 30 is not a fly to left. It's a strikeout. So Jack Howell, pinch hitting, and he is out of there. We'll get a pinch hitter for Bob Boone, and it's going to be Bobby Grich. So Bobby Grich has picked up a bat to hit for Bob Boone. Again, Gene Mauch trying to pull out all the stops. Getting the better hitter in there, Bobby Grich. 26 is a 13. He struck him out. So that pinch hitter also strikes out. He's 0 for 2 on pinch hitting choices. And that'll bring up the last chance, Gary Pettis. He did have a good average of 258. So they will leave him in to hit. Plus he's a switch hitter. 16 is a 28. 28 is a strikeout with a K. So since there's a K, it's not a grounder to short. It's a strikeout. Schiraldi strikes out the side in the 9th, and the Red Sox hold on to beat the Angels in Game 1 by the final score of 7-5. Winning pitcher was Roger Clemens. The loser was Mike Witt. So hopefully you enjoyed that presentation of APBA. Like I said, it's not a game I play very often, but it's fun to pull out once in a while. Like I said, it's part of the rotation, just something to break up the monotony of the Stratomatic replay with the 77 White Sox. So I bought the 86 set and really enjoy playing with that set, especially playing with the Merino boards makes it much more realistic for me than just the basic APBA. So I really do appreciate the Paul Merino boards, and that makes the game a little bit more enjoyable, at least in my opinion. Some people love the basic, but I like to have a little bit more than that because the basic doesn't include a lot of things that I like. All right, so that's it from here. Final score, once again, the Red Sox win Game 1 of the ALCS 7-5. So until next time, we will see you all down the road.